4825 Glenbrook Road is a residential property located in the Spring Valley neighborhood of Northwest Washington, D.C. During the World War I era, the property was part of a larger area known as the American University Experiment Station, where the U.S. government researched and tested chemical agents, equipment, and munitions. 2 prior investigations of the property recovered and safely removed hundreds of experiment station-related items, hundreds of pounds of glassware, and tons of contaminated soil. The Corps of Engineers, in coordination with the Environmental Protection Agency, the District Department of the Environment, and American University, conducted a thorough review and extensive public comment period, and ultimately decided to remove the house, clean up the property, and then restore it to residential standards. In November 2012, the house was removed, and cleanup is now underway.
The highly trained site crews are continuing to perform high-probability operations at 4825 Glenbrook Road. As a reminder, during this work, the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers has multiple layers of redundant safety systems in place so that when our teams encounter American University Experiment Station debris or contaminated soils, there is minimal risk to them or the public. This short video will provide you with a look inside our site. In particular, this glimpse illustrates our operations on March 12, 2014. After the morning safety brief, the dig teams prepare for the day. The first team enters the engineering control structure to begin the day's operations. Upon entry, the team goes on to supplied air. Prior to the start of any excavation, the area is checked with a Schonstatt for metal debris. Once that is complete, the dig teams begin to hand dig the area. All broken debris is placed into 5-gallon buckets for future disposal. If an intact container is encountered, it is handled according to a preset series of actions. First, photo documentation is taken of the item in the soil. The item is then removed and placed into a 5-gallon bucket so it is secure until it is packaged. As you can see in the video, the team has encountered an intact container and used this process. This same process was followed for 4 intact containers discovered during the day. The dig team also encountered a 75mm munition debris item on this particular day. First, the dig team carefully documents the item. The item is flagged and made accessible for the explosive ordnance disposal team. The item is carefully removed from the soils and placed at the edge of the excavation to minimize handling. The dig team then departs the tent so that the explosive ordnance team can enter the engineering control structure and perform their assessment. The explosives ordnance disposal team's assessment includes weighing the item and then performing an X-ray on site. First, the item is weighed to determine if the weight is similar to the expected weight of a 75mm. Then the team sets up the X-ray and performs the assessment of the item. After the assessment, the explosive ordnance team determines that the 75mm does not contain a liquid fill or explosive, so the item is handled as munitions debris. It is double bagged in plastic and prepared for transport to federal property. If the item had been explosively configured or contained a liquid fill, additional safety procedures would have been implemented. The packaging team now enters the engineering control structure to carefully package the intact containers. Each intact container is assessed individually. After the assessment, the intact container is secured and packaged in a multiple round container. The multiple round containers are moved out of the tent and into the personnel decon station where they are packaged in an outer container. The items are transported to federal property where they are safely stored in a secure facility pending final disposal. Throughout our current operations, the team has recovered over 500 pounds of additional glassware debris, 150 cubic yards of contaminated soil, and several dozen intact containers.
There were only a couple places.